Originali.
Bentornati a Lingue Originali su Caffè Italia. Il primo episodio della settimana del nostro appuntamento con la letteratura nella lingua madre degli autori è come sempre dedicato alla lingua inglese e in compagnia, in veste di lettore, di Marco Piovaz. Continuiamo a sfogliare le pagine di Alan Bennett e in particolare della raccolta di monologhi dal titolo Talking Heads. Dopo aver ascoltato A Chip in the Sugar e Miss Fuzzer Finds Her Feet, quest'ultimo in 3 episodi, da stasera iniziamo ad ascoltare The Hand of God. Il microfono a Marco Piovaz. Buon ascolto.
I won't touch pictures. I make it a rule. I've seen too many fingers burned. Woman comes in this morning, starts rooting in her shopping bag, saying she has something I might be interested in. Been in the attic, etc., etc., the usual rigmarole. Hadn't thought anything about it, apparently, until she saw something similar on, and I knew what was coming, that television program about antiques, and that someone on the program from Christie's. I said, Barrow Boys. She said, come again. I said, Sotheby's, Christie's, Barrow Boys. Nicely spoken, lovely suits, fingernails immaculate, but Barrow Boys. She said, well, anyway, he said £2,000. I said, well, he would. He doesn't have to get up at 4 a.m. and flog his aging Volvo halfway across England just to sit all day in a freezing marquee and come away with 2 trivets and an umbrella stand. £2,000. It was one step up from Highland Kettle. She said, it's a genuine oil painting. Look at the work that's gone into it. I said, madam, if you'll forgive me, could I point you along the street in the direction of Etisket a Tusket? Basically a cafe, it doubles as a bric-a-brac shop, and Yvonne does pictures on the side. Though what I didn't say was that they tend to be mice and pinnies type thing. I popped over the road to tell Derek and Cyril. They've just had a buyer in from Stockholm who'd practically cleared them out. Staffordshire mostly, which is their big thing. Doesn't do anything for me, but Derek and Cyril love it. Chunky, I suppose. Actually, I don't have a particular line. Good cottage furniture sums it up. Elm, fruitwood, and anything painted. And clocks, of course, when I can get hold of them. Plus pots of the period. Some things I won't sell. Teddy bears, for instance. Teddy bears are a minefield. I was at a sale in Suffolk and saw a teddy bear actually torn apart between 2 bidders, one of them a vicar. These days they're all going in for little sidelines, aching the job out with jam and little pots of chutney. Woman come in the other day, said, did I have any chutney? I said, I shall start doing chutney, madam, when Tesco starts doing gate leg tables. But the garage sells potpourri, so what do you expect? I think of Lawrence. Christ, old girl, I didn't sink my gratuity in this place to start selling bloody condiments. He was in bomb disposal, which was why, to begin with, we went in for clocks. Though, of course, there were clocks then. There was everything then. Furniture, pottery, stock no problem. And if one had the eye, which I do, one could pick and choose. Not anymore. Take what you can get and money, money, money. If you love beautiful things, which is why I came into the business in the first place, it just breaks your heart. And everybody's an expert now, up to all the tricks of the trade. You'll see something catch their eye and they don't ask about it straight away. They inquire about something else, pretend they're not interested. Then it's, oh, incidentally, how much is this little thing? It's the oldest dodge in the world and they expect you to be taken in by it. Of course, they've picked all that up off the television. I won't have one. I said to Nancy Bernard I refuse to watch. She said, well, we only have it because of Faye. Fay. They're both glued to it. Wish I could shift this refectory table. It was a real snip when I got it, but I've had it a year now, and not a nibble. Lovely top. Elm. Old Miss Ventris, seeing what there is. Took 2 Crown Derby plates of her once, just as a favour, one of them chipped. Looking a bit frail. Going on. Lovely Camille brooch. They talk as if you're not in the room. Couple just now, looking at the Asiatic pheasant tureen. £60, she said. I gave £2.10 for mine. Yes, but when, I wanted to say, 1955? And some of them so careless they practically hurl things to the floor. I've got a notice up now. Lovely to look at, nice to hold, but if you break it, I say sold. Somebody looking in. Goldfish ball. No, you can't see the price, however far you bend. You're going to dislocate your neck, and you still won't see it, because I've carefully arranged the ticket, so that if you want to see the price, you'll have to come into the shop. Which you're not doing. Even if they could see the price, they wouldn't understand it, because I've got my little code. I could take 1,300 for this at a pinch. I've had it a year, too long. Lawrence would be reading me the riot act. Keep your stock ticking over, old girl. Move it on. And he did, even if it meant not making much. It's like Scrabble, my dear. Start saving up for the big one, the 7-letter world, and you're done for. Get your letters down. £5 here, £10 there. Buy for X 1 week, sell for Y the next. That's how you make your money. Look well in a boardroom, or one of these loft conversion things. I'd even consider 11,000. I kept wondering about Miss Ventris, so what with not having seen her for a bit, I thought I'd just knock on her door, see how she was. She lives in one of the double-fronted houses on the Mount. Original fanlight up at the door, and a lovely knocker, hand grasping a ball, which can't be later than 1820, though the house, I'd said, was Victorian. But of course it's stucco, which can cover a multitude of sins. And once I get inside, I realise it's 17th century and seemingly never been touched. And I'm right, of course, she isn't well. Been in bed a fortnight. And it's Mabel, the home help, who answers the door. Now I know Mabel of old, because she's been in from time to time with odd bits of stuff. Little things, a silver vinaigrette, a jet brooch, spoons and whatnot. Stuff I found homes for straight away. They all come from Newcastle, apparently, where her aunts had to go into a home. Anyway, Mabel takes me upstairs to see Miss Ventris, who tells me she's had all sorts of tests and they still don't know what's wrong. Which probably means they do. Thin little hand, like dried leaves. Tragic. Lovely bedside table with pies crust moulding. District nurse comes while I'm there, plonks a bottle of medicine straight down on it. Criminal. I help give her some Benga's food, only she fetches it straight back. The spoon's silver, and while they're cleaning her up, I look at the hallmark. Provincial, Bristol, about 1830. Same sort that Mabel brought in. I love a nice finish. Maple, rosewood, and walnut particularly. What I can't abide is stripped pine. I don't see the point, quite frankly. And they're fanatics about it, some dealers. I mean, still. They'll strip everything, 5 minutes in the caustic tank, and it's 100 years of loving care down the drain. All the character gone. I was thinking about this at Miss Ventris's, because there's polish everywhere. Walnut, elm, fruitwood. It's like a jewel box. I've been popping round on a regular basis lately, just to relieve Mabel a bit, because the old girl's scarcely conscious now. Doesn't know I'm there half the time. I sit by the bed with the clock ticking. Carriage clock, tortoiseshell veneer, fluted, about 1750. Made me think of Lawrence. Lovely. Of course, everywhere you look there's something. It's like houses used to be in the 50s, and most of it museum quality practically. It's from her grandfather. He was a great collector apparently. I said to Mabel, what's going to happen to all this? She said, well, she didn't think there were any relations. There's been a niece in Canada, but she had a feeling she was in an airline crash. I couldn't get her to take me round at first. Said she was under strict instructions from the solicitors. I said, what solicitors are those? She said, Paterson, Bitty and Brown. I said, well, there's no problem there, because I took a knee-hole desk off Mr. Paterson and gave him a very good price. She was still a bit reluctant, so I said, Mabel, I can well understand why you have to be careful. It's so easy for little things to go walkabout, particularly with old people. Silver, little brooches, you know, the sort of thing. She went a bit quiet, so I said, shall we start with upstairs? I couldn't believe it. Every room a treasure trove. Amazing. When I was going, Mabel said, I'll try and steer some of it your way if I can. I said, yes, well, there would be a nice little margin in most of this, even running to the two of us. If the worst comes to the worst, of course. Mabel says, yes, though she seems a bit better today. Kept more of her dinner down anyway. Still, you've only to look at her under that nightdress, and there's nothing there. I said, where did that nightdress come from? She said, her grandmother, I think. It's all hand-done. There's half a dozen of them in the linen cupboard. Some of them never worn. Tragic. Of course, the shards are beginning to gather. I'm sitting by the bed this afternoon when Derek knocks at the door, bearing one of Cyril's risen egg custards. Mabel didn't let him get his foot round the door. Only when Nancy Bernard rolls up in her terrible beetroot slacks, says that she and Faye swear by some tincture from the swamps of Paraguay they bought in Chelmsford. Should she get her some? I said to Mabel, they are so transparent. Miss Ventris is asleep, so I have a little look at her bed. It's a country piece, about 1830, I'd have said. Painted, which always gets my vote, and in such good condition. The doorbell goes again, so while Mabel's downstairs, I lift up the mattress, and where the paint isn't worn, it's as good as new. I'm just tucking the sheet back when I see her little eyes are open, and she's watching at me. I think she said, happy? Only Mabel came in just then. Of course you can't tell when it gets to this stage, it goes to the brain. The visitors, the priest, come to anoint her and whatnot, just to be on the safe side, as the doctor says she could go any time. Mabel and I left him to it, just stood respectfully in the background. Had a little embroidered cloth that he covered the chalice with. Arts and crafts by the look of it, and a beautiful thing. Pity it can't be used for something. Of course, when she said, happy, what she probably meant was that she was happy.
A Lingue Originali, Marco Piovaz ha letto per voi in lingua inglese. Lo ritroveremo su Caffè Italia la prossima settimana, venerdì, sempre alle ore 22. Ma Lingue Originali è in onda anche il sabato con Nadia Meroni, con la lettura in lingua tedesca, e la domenica con Barbara Marchand, per quella in lingua francese. Vi ringraziamo per l'ascolto e vi diamo appuntamento a Lingue Originali fra 7 giorni, sempre su Caffè Italia, la radio e il podcast dall'aroma italiano e non solo.
Lingue originali.